What up, people? Today we are going to be talking about living by other people's standards. A lot of us choose to do this in some way or other, and it is not the best of habits to adopt. We do tend to live a lot by other people's standards because we are raised to do so. As we grow up, we are led down certain routes and pathways that let us know what society expects from us, what our family expects from us, what our friends expect from us, strangers expect about certain ways to act. We are told about certain ways to do things, reinforced by certain institutions, schools, universities, even in the workplace, day-to-day laws, government, police. We're taught how to behave and what's expected of us. I don't necessarily follow societal laws. I follow more universal laws of love and respect for the most part, because those are core intrinsic values that I think we have on a natural level, deeper and much more profound than societal laws. I think those kinds of laws teach us something much deeper, which is community and unity between us all. It's proven that takes us a lot further than anything else will. Going it solo is fine, and I think it's good for certain people to do that as well because that's what works for them. I also think that there is a middle ground to this whereby someone may do a lot of things solo and may also do a lot of things with community. I think I'm that type of person. And I also think there is definitely room for people that like to do things with community all the time, because community builds strong bond. It teaches us about love and understanding between each other, no matter who you are, where you come from, what your background is, etc., etc. It teaches us those things. So community and unity is extremely important. I'll preach that on this channel all the freaking time, right? Because that's what I believe in. Coming back to living to people's standards, it gets murky. There's also a clear-cut aspect to this. First and foremost, there are tons of different groups in society that will tell you this is how you should act, this is how you should do things, this is how you should acknowledge each other, and this is how you should behave. These are the expectations. So it doesn't matter what group you're in, there are going to be these things. Living towards other people's standards is a great area because sometimes you may want to do this in order to achieve similar things or behave in similar ways or to understand certain paradigms that they are already entertaining, participating in. So you may want to do this sometimes and live towards other people's standards just so that you can acknowledge and understand what they already know and achieve what they have already achieved and behave how they are behaving. Right? But there are other times where you don't want to do this because that takes you away from your path and who you need to be and how you need to behave, etc., etc., right? So it all depends. It comes back to you first and foremost. It's like, who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? Who are you as a person? And what are your intrinsic values, right? Are they good? In which case, look at your surroundings. Who are your friends, etc., etc.? What do they participate in? If they are participating in stupidity or things that are self-destructive, bring detriment to you as a group or to you as an individual, at the same time you want to become this better person, well, how are you going to do that if you surround yourself by people that constantly drag you down, that constantly entertain stuff that's detrimental to you, whether it's like smoking or drugs or alcohol, hanging around just doing BS, right? Maybe you want to spend time around someone that utilizes their resources and focuses it on improving themselves, educating themselves, strengthening themselves, making themselves fitter, smarter, stronger, etc. You're more likely to become smarter, stronger, fitter by being around a person that lives that life, that entertains that paradigm, that looks into that perspective. You know what I mean? That lives that lifestyle. You're much less likely to achieve that if you're around people that entertain a drugs lifestyle, that entertain a lifestyle where they don't do much other than unproductive activities. You know what I mean? You need to measure and gauge your expectations. So don't be hanging around people or putting yourself in areas that don't provide what you need in order to grow those particular attributes of yourself in positive ways. You're just not going to achieve that. or it's going to be very difficult for you to do so. I'm not saying that it's impossible, because you may be in those types of environments, whether due to social structure, whether due to finances, whether due to your location, whether due to your age, who are about those areas. There may be very large areas in the world that have that kind of mindset where they're just like, well, I don't want to pursue better. I don't want to achieve X, Y, Z. I just like effing around, or I just like participating in these hedonistic activities or detrimental activities that destroy people, you know? There may be large swaths of that kind of mindset and activity around you, but it doesn't mean that you need to be like that. Even if you can't currently move out of those areas right now, or be around all the types of people right now. One, if you're watching this, you have the internet, so you can still access the minds of people that do think outside of that detrimental area, do think in a productive, more positive area, right? You can entertain that kind of mindset by going online, by reading books, by listening to audiobooks, by speaking to people that do have more knowledge than yourself in good areas that have your best interests at heart, via the internet, like I said, via books, via people around you. And if there aren't that many types of people around you that entertain that, then maybe you break away and you distance yourself from those people, and you focus on and in areas that allow you to break through those horizons into a much more vaster world of information and learning and productivity and positivity. You know what I'm saying? That's what you need to seek right now if you're looking for self-improvement. So you don't necessarily need to live by other people's standards just because they're doing X, Y, Z around you. You don't have to be that person. It's your choice. You're an individual, for frick's sake. Just because your friends or your family or whoever else around you or a stranger does certain things, it doesn't mean you need to participate in those activities. You're your own freaking person. You have your own mind. You have your own thoughts, sis. You have your own mind and you have your own thoughts, bro. You can make that decision and those decisions for yourself. So choose better. Choose better. It's your choice. Choose better. You can actively make that decision for yourself and then start taking action in those directions. Choose better. Be better. That is how you be better. You choose better. So do that, and then that'll take you in better, more productive directions and pathways for yourself that will yield results. Do not expect these results like that, because it doesn't happen like that. It happens in small increments in which you build up over time, and then you will become a better person and you will keep on improving over time. And it was only when you look back quite a far distance, you'll realize how far that you've come if you remain consistent at pushing yourself to be better in a number of different areas, right? But you have to choose first. First comes courage, then comes a choice. Make that choice using courage, and then use discipline to remain consistently making that choice, to move forward, to be becoming better, to self-improving, to becoming a better person. That person that you need to be and that person that you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Courage, choice, and then discipline to see it through. Consistency. Do not stop. All right? So you don't need to seek other people's approval, and you don't need to do things by other people's standards, because that kind of life, their decisions, the way they act, the way they do things, that may not be for you. That may not be intrinsic to you. You know? What may be intrinsic to you is, I don't know, building small houses. What may be intrinsic to you is technology. What may be intrinsic to you is sports, helping other people, coaching. What may be intrinsic to you is botany, things to do with plants, maybe insects. If someone else is entertaining and focusing in other areas, especially if it's detrimental, that may not be for you, bro. It may not be for you, sis. So don't live by other people's standards. Live by your own. Make that choice. and follow it through. All right, guys, that completes the video. Don't live by other people's standards, do you? All right, throw down in the comments, let me know what you think of the video. Holler back, let me know what your thoughts are on the video. And with that being said, I will see you. Take it easy.